Conversations stop when you enter the room. Your best people seem on edge. Sound familiar? Well, I want to share a conversation that forced Amanda to choose between being liked and being a leader. So she managed a regional sales office for a medical device company with 12 sales reps covering the West Coast region. Now, for 4 years, Amanda had cultivated what she thought was an ideal team culture. I mean, people genuinely liked each other. They celebrated wins together, and they had each other's backs during tough quarters. But when the company hired 2 new reps in the span of 6 weeks, something shifted. Now, it started small. Amanda noticed that conversations would stop when she walked into the break room. Team members who used to eat lunch together started forming separate, smaller groups. The camaraderie that defined their culture began feeling forced and awkward. Well, then the complaints started trickling in. Jessica mentioned that she felt excluded from client meetings that she used to be invited to. Mark said he heard through the grapevine that his presentation style was being criticized behind his back. 2 of her veteran reps, who had worked together successfully for 3 years, suddenly couldn't seem to collaborate on joint accounts. Now, Amanda kept telling herself it was just adjustment issues. New team members finding their place, temporary growing pains that would work themselves out. She really didn't care for conflict, so she usually avoided difficult conversations whenever possible. But then, during a quarterly team meeting, Amanda was reviewing performance numbers when she noticed the tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. People weren't making eye contact. The usual friendly banter was non-existent, and several team members were just clearly distracted. Well, after the meeting, her top performer, David, asked to speak with her privately. And he said, "Amanda, I need to tell you something that's been eating at me." He said, "There's been a lot of talk going around the office. Some people are saying you play favorites with certain accounts. Others are questioning whether Jessica really deserved the Johnson Medical contract or if you just gave it to her because you two are friends. And honestly, some of the conversations have been about your leadership style." Well, Amanda was not expecting this. She asked, "Who is saying these things?" David said, "That's just it. I don't really know anymore. It's all whispers and someone told me conversations. But Amanda, this team is falling apart. People don't trust each other. And now some of them are questioning if they can trust you." Well, that night, Amanda lay awake realizing that the culture she'd spent 4 years building was being destroyed by conversations happening in parking lots, private text messages, and hushed comments by the coffee machine. The next morning, she made a decision that felt terrifying, but necessary. She called an all-hands meeting and addressed it directly. "I need to talk to everyone about something that's been destroying our team," she said. "There's been a lot of talk behind people's backs, and it stops today. I don't care if you call it venting, being honest, just sharing concerns. When you talk about your teammates to everyone except your teammates, you're gossiping. And gossip is cancer to everything we've built here." Now, the room was just dead silent. But she continued, "From now on, if you have a problem with someone in this office, you have 2 choices. You talk with them directly, or you talk to me. But the parking lot conversations and the whisper campaigns end now." Well, it was an uncomfortable 2 weeks. Some people were defensive. Others were embarrassed that their behavior had been called out so directly. But within a month, Amanda started seeing the team she remembered. People were collaborating again. The break room conversations, they resumed, and most importantly, their sales numbers improved because people got back to focusing on clients instead of office drama. In Proverbs 16:28, it says, "A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends." And notice the progression in this proverb. It starts with stirring up conflict, but it ends with separated relationships. Now, gossip creates temporary drama, But worse, it severs the bonds that holds teams together. The word separates, I think, is the key word. Amanda's team members weren't just annoyed with each other, they were losing trust in people they'd worked alongside for years. Now, David and Jessica, who had been close colleagues, they started questioning each other's motives. Veterans began to doubt Amanda's fairness. But that's what gossip does. It takes healthy relationships and introduces poison that makes people see threats where there used to be trust. And once that separation happens, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. Now, Amanda learned that gossip is never neutral. Every whispered conversation, every just between us comment, and every I probably shouldn't say this, but kind of statement erodes the foundation of team unity. And in a leadership role, what you tolerate, you endorse. So what do you do with Amanda's story and this proverb? Well, first, recognize gossip for what it is. It's not venting or being honest or sharing concerns. It's talking about people to everyone except the person who can actually address the issue. Call it what it is and don't let people disguise it as something noble. And two, create clear channels for legitimate complaints to be heard. People need to be able to raise real issues, but give them a process. Talk directly to the person involved or bring it up to leadership. Don't let "I didn't know how to handle it" become an excuse for gossip. And third, address it quickly and directly. Now, Amanda waited too long, and she almost lost her team. When you sense whisper campaigns starting, shut them down immediately. The longer gossip goes unchecked, the more damage it does to relationships that may take months to rebuild. Healthy team culture doesn't happen by accident. It takes courage to protect it. Now, gossip feels harmless in the moment, but it's one of the fastest ways to destroy trust and unity. So if you're dealing with behind-the-scenes tensions in your team, don't just hope it goes away. Address it with clarity and conviction. And remember, what you tolerate, you endorse. And whispers always get louder if you don't stop them. See you next time.